right, Barack Obama beginning yet another round of softball interviews to promote a whopping 768-page book and is rewriting history all along the way. Anyway, he goes on 60 Minutes, and Barack compared the president to a dictator while lamenting the lack of, quote, institutional norms. All right, Barack, time for a quick Hannity history lesson. In fact, it was you who targeted journalists. That's right, because remember 2013 revealed your administration secretly spied on journalists, including then Fox News reporter colleague James Rosen. You want to talk about institutional norms, Barack? Because how about spying on an incoming administration, framing Michael Flynn, using a fake Hillary Clinton bought and paid for Russian disinformation dossier to spy on a candidate, a president-elect, and then President Trump to fuel a Russia hoax? Because, Barack, I don't remember you or, frankly, any Democrat speaking out about that. Save us the lectures, Barack. And where was your voice when it was needed? 4 years, your party never accepted election results. 4 years, never-ending harassment, unprecedented. And your party and your silence was deafening. So your feigned outrage today, pretty meaningless to everyone except maybe for the sycophants that actually may buy that 768-page bore. And by the way, did you hear one question from Scott Pelley about any of that? No, crickets. Any questions about Russia? No. Ukraine? No. Quid pro quo, Joe? No. Zero experience, Hunter? No. Lawless acts, violence against police, defunding the police, abuse of power, corruption, the biggest one in the history of the country? Not a word. The mob, the media, the Democrats, they're all united as one and are no longer interested and have not for a long time been interested in getting to the truth, facts, or any serious investigation. And they take on the broadest hypocrisy and double standards. All right, joining us now, former Alaska Governor Sarah Palin. You know, Governor, I'm looking at what... Man, you're living in Barack's head. I thought for a while I lived in Barack's head because he kept mentioning me for a while during, his run for office. And through Palin, it seemed as if the dark spirits that had long been lurking on the edges of the modern Republican Party, xenophobia, anti-intellectualism, paranoid conspiracy theories coming from the Democrats, so that's a rich statement, antipathy toward black and brown folks was finding their way to center stage, and she had no idea what the hell she was talking about. All right. And I'm like, didn't they peddle the conspiracy theory on Russia for nearly 4 years?
Yeah, that's true. Barack Obama, with his 700-some page Promised Land book, I guess evidently he thinks that he is one to lead us to the Promised Land. So let's refer to him as Moses. Moses is the master of the politics of personal destruction, which people were so fed up with that a movement began, and they elected someone to hopefully get us on a path to get rid of that politics of personal destruction. But Barack Obama, he just doesn't get it. First of all, personally, Sean, in order to let a man's opinion hurt, well, you have to give a little bit of value to that man's opinion. So I'm good there because, no, he does not represent truth.
But there are 72 million people. This is a record for any Republican to ever get in an election. All right, razor-thin margins. And he was elected twice. And when you hear smelly Walmart Trump supporters and irredeemable deplorables, or back when you were running, bitter Americans that cling to God, guns, Second Amendment, Bible, religion, I think it's revealing, because what is he saying about we the people? That, it seems like it's against any American that doesn't support him or his views, which are radical.
Right. And I think that the media, the mainstream media, has been pretty successful in trying to make this whole issue an issue of attacks on Donald Trump and his personality or his tone or his mannerisms, whatever. But really, America has to remember that the left, led by Barack Obama and still Hillary Clinton and Biden, they're after us. They're after those whom, yes, they call us deplorables and chumps and bitter clingers and all that. They're after what it is that we represent. What I hope it is that we represent, because I want to represent it, is truth. And that is what Barack Obama is so absent from embracing because of his false accusations and his unfounded criticisms. There's proof after proof after proof that he is a purveyor of untruths. Our country has to love truth. We have to be seekers of truth. We have to be willing to follow truth. And there are so many untruths that Barack Obama is leading people towards still. For instance, a truth is that only law and order will usher in peace and prosperity. The sanctity of life, that is a truth, is that we should protect life. The Democrats' platform is the antithesis of that, the provisions about it's okay to kill a baby in the womb. There are so many things that Barack Obama stands for still, and he just doesn't get it, that the solution to our problems in this country, it all comes down to simply loving truth. He does not represent nor love truth.
All right, Governor, good to see you again. Thank you for being with us.